I'm Michael Bain, and welcome to Triggered, obviously not coming to you from the secret hidden bunker in the Rocky Mountains, instead from Cedar City, Utah. And I'm here at RIA USA, Rock Island Armory's American manufacturing plant, originally built a couple of years ago for the Rock Island Armory 5.0. Now, this is an absolutely fascinating little factory. I've been to Manila, I've been to the Philippines, seen the huge RIA factories there. One of the largest manufacturers of 1911s in the world. But this plant, RIA USA, which they generally refer to here as RIA USA, is essentially a fast development, great way to build new, very modern guns. Remember the 5.0 2 years ago? I said was the #1 thing to come out of the SHOT Show. Well, there's a lot of things going on here, and since this is an all-American company, it's got to be headed up by a Marine. This isn't the retirement you had in mind, is it?
No, it's not. Actually, no, but it's turned into something that I never expected. It's more than I expected.
Let's do a little bit of that background. You are a Marine because once you're a Marine forever, right?
Correct.
Desert Storm.
Yes.
That's where you served. And then you worked as a COO in hospitals, so you worked, and
yes,
somehow you ended up here at Rock Island Armory. How does that work?
Well, when I first got in the military, I went into manufacturing. And from that, when you get to a certain level, it kind of melds with other industries. I kind of got burned out in manufacturing. I was in Niagara Bottling. It was a great organization to work for. I was part of the team that built 9 plants. And then I went into hospitals. I went into human resources in hospitals, and I really enjoyed it. And I was asked to get my MBA so I could be the chief operating officer. And I did that. And I went through COVID there. We went through all the COVID stuff, and then after that was over with, I decided to retire after that. We already had property here in Utah, so we moved here. And not too long later, I got a phone call from a recruiter that Lisa had set up and asked me if I'd be interested in coming to work for Rock Island Armory. And then it just kind of one interview, one phone call, and a job offer. Like a boom, boom, boom.
Would it be fair to call you a manufacturing nerd?
Oh, yes. I love lean. I think lean works in most every kind of business. So I think what it does is it gives you lots of tools to always have fixes before you need them. And that's what lean is about. And I love lean. I love the background I've got in lean. I worked with it in hospitals. I worked with it in manufacturing. I bought it here. And I have slowly been training my team here to be lean. In other words, you learn 4 jobs for 1 paycheck. Everybody learns 4 things because if someone is out sick, nothing doesn't happen. I'm a firm believer in that. Having a small team, everybody has to be agile.
It's exactly the opposite of mass production.
Correct.
It's what comes after mass production.
Yes.
And you have how many employees here?
We have 14 total. 1 is out on a sick leave right now.
And they're, work multiple machines. Yes. One guy is working the manufacturing half of the factory today, going from machine to machine to machine to machine. One other thing that us manufacturing nerds often mention is your engineers, your designers are on the floor.
Yes, mine are.
Right there looking at the machines.
Yes.
They don't have a nice office.
No, they don't. They actually, there's a funny little thing. They've actually got the old desks that were left over in this plant when we bought it. So they didn't get anything special. But they're on the floor. They have all the tools they need to be the most up-to-date. And they're very hands-on. Their heads are in the machines as often as my machine operators are.
They're interacting with people running the machines. So if there is a problem, the problem is picked up really early on. But with having your designers right there, they understand what the people do, what the machines do.
Correct.
And then that gets the manufacturability of the product. It's designed into it from the ground up.
Correct. And the good thing about that is when you have a machine that has an issue, maybe a tool wore, and it didn't wear enough for the machine to tell you, because all our machines tell us when you have tool wear. But it might be enough that my machine operator sees a little something that's different. They go right over and say, I think this tool's running low, or it's getting bad, or there's a nick in it. The programmer goes right over, checks everything out, puts a new tool in, reruns the part. Instead of it going all the way around through paint and finishing and assembly, and the gun doesn't fit. The gun doesn't work, the gun, whatever. So it means you have to go backwards now. Now you spend all that money, all that labor, all that time, all that machining. That's money, 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 money. So instead of that, it stops right there at the machine. And having them right there to lead that is perfect.
And interesting on quality assurance, it's taking place at every stage that a part is machined. Quality assurance is there, and you are the last stop.
Yes, I put my name on every one. There'll be a day that I won't be able to do that. We won't be able to have 14 people, but we're not there yet. We're nowhere near that. We have a long way to go before we have to worry about hiring a whole herd of people. And but we want to have it lean. And that is the perfect example of lean, is what's going on in that plant right now.
Let's talk a little about the 5.0.
Okay.
I thought when that came out, like 2 years ago at SHOT Show, I said I thought that was absolutely the runaway hit of SHOT Show. Mm-hmm. That was the one thing on the floor that wasn't derivative, redive, new tail fins, and racing stripes and FDE. But
the RBS system made it that way.
It was. It's a unique operating system, something we've talked about a lot. That gun is made here.
In our plant, yes, it is. U.S. made.
It is a U.S. made gun, and I know it is because I just walked through it. And I saw every part of it being made. I saw it all being assembled. It's even though Rock Island Armory is a Philippine company, been making 1911s almost since over 1911. No, they make a lot of them,
yes,
to be fair.
Yes, they do.
But the 5.0 is something that has grown up here. It's an American gun made in an American plant.
It was born and bred here. Basically, it was created, and it came here, and it was finished here. And my engineer ended up finishing the last part of it. It hadn't been done, and it was literally born, and it's growing up in stages. We had the 5.0E come out first. Then we have the standard coming out, and we've got the compact coming out. We'll have the ghost gun and the 22 TCM. So in 2 years, we've come out with that much. That's a lot of guns for a little plant to come out that fast. And so our 5.0 series of guns is growing like every year. I mean, we in the last probably 18 months, we've added 5 guns to it.
This week's Triggered is brought to you by Rossi. The legend continues. Stoger. Everyday tough. Hunter's HD Gold. They change so you don't have to. MTM Case Guard. Quality shooting sports accessories. And Ed Brown. The best money can buy for over 50 years. You also have the pump shotgun thing,
Yes.
again, being made here. And it was fascinating. I like pump shotguns anyway, but it's beautifully made. It's beautifully finished. The finishing work that you're doing here is just amazing. The precision that is going into the guns that are coming out. And then I said, oh, what's the MSRP? And it's like $249. Okay, pretty much everybody can have one.
That's our goal. That's our goal for our shotgun family, is to have as many people that want one. It's in that price range that everybody can have, because it's a perfect home defense gun. For women, for men, for younger people, and it's a great gun to learn on.
Talk a little bit about why this is a fun job.
Well, that's an excellent question. We've got a lot going on here, and we're a small team. One of my favorite things I get to do is I don't just program the machinery, but I get to follow products from conception all the way to putting them together. So like these VRFs, these firearms we're building, I've not only programmed them and took them from raw blanks to finished receivers, but I also came up with the assembly instructions to help with finishing to all that. So it's really a interesting thing to be able to follow products through a life cycle that I don't think you could get at a larger company.
That's true. You know, if you're really super large, you've got super specialized people. But in a small company, you have a really good relationship with the machines and the machinists. Obviously, you're right here. It's were you a shooter before you got a job here?
Yeah.
So it's probably a pretty good place to work.
Yeah, that's a fun thing. We also, for a long time, John and I were the only ones that did the test firing of the 5.0s for quite a long time. So we did a lot of shooting. We've done endurance testing, all kinds of things. I've probably put 15 to 20,000 rounds through 5.0s in the last year. So
It's a pretty good opportunity where you're a small manufacturing plant set up like this.
Oh yeah. So working in a small plant like this is sometimes hard just because maybe you have limited resources on occasion, right? But we get to be highly involved in everything that's going on all of the time. And the nice thing is we still have Arms Corps that can kind of help us along when we do need some of the resources that we don't always have on site. We can at least get help from them.
So from rocket scientist to gun scientist is kind of, that was your trajectory?
That's kind of what it became, yeah. And it's helpful in some ways, but not in every way. You know, they're very, very different fields. That's for dang sure.
What we have coming very, very soon. Now these are the TAC Ultra line from Rock Island Armory, being made in the Philippines. I've over the years shot a lot of them, owned a lot of them, hunted with the 10mm version, and these guns are now coming to the United States, coming here to Cedar City, Utah, to be made, and it's going to happen very quickly.
Yes, like in November.
In November,
in November, yes. So we got our examples in here, and we're going to start tearing them apart, and my team's going to start learning how to make them. Most of my guys already own them, and so they're thrilled about the idea of being able to make them and having them come out of our Cedar City plant. So yes, we will be getting our kits with basic parts from the Philippines. It's a joint effort.
Okay.
It's a joint effort between Philippines and the U.S. Factories. So they'll do the kits with the basic stuff in it. It'll come here. We will finish everything. We'll do the painting, and we'll assemble, we'll shoot, and we'll sell to Arms Corps for them to sell.
Now, the TAC Ultra line itself is kind of the top line on the RIA guns. It has pretty much everything that one might need, or that one was going to pay extra to do on it.
Correct.
You'll have 9mm 45, the larger capacity and single stack, and then you'll have the 10mm larger capacity, which is a truly great gun.
And they will be optic ready. Whereas
That's right,
the Philippines,
that's right.
the Philippine plant does not make this series optic ready. So to bring it to the U.S., the decision was made. That would be the big change. It would be optic ready. So we will put the optic cut in it and make sure that the optics fit on it, and we'll have a plate to cover it.
Yep.
And then they will go out and get their own individual optic plates and put whatever optic they want on it.
Well, that's the great thing about having what amounts to what Colt would call the Series 70s gun, you know, because it doesn't have the little plunger that would get in the way of an optics mount on the gun. I have a TAC Ultra 10mm that is cut for a Trijicon, and it is a great gun. Everybody who handles it says, "How'd you get that sight on there?" So it's really not that hard. I mean, it's just,
But then you have to go out and spend more money.
Yes.
The key is people that buy those, they have to go out and spend more money and get the optic cut put in, go see a gunsmith and do that and take a couple months. The blessing in this for this plant and for RIA USA is the fact that we'll do that, and I believe it's going to be a great seller because it's already a good seller. Don't get me wrong. It's a great seller. There's back orders on it, but now they're going to be optic cut. And that will make it easier for the new owners. They don't have to go get rid of their gun for a couple months and pay a couple $100 extra to have someone else do it. We're going to do that and make it user-friendly.
My optics cut cost $150 and it took 2.5 months to get the gun back.
There you go. We don't want to do that. We don't want to do that.
I can tell you exactly what it costs.
I want you out shooting my gun.
Yes.
I want you shooting my gun.
That's a very fast ramp up for these.
Yes.
You know,
they're already being made.
So you got the gun here,
yes.
but it does take a certain amount of time to get a team up on how the gun gets put together and how you'll be doing all the finishing here, I assume, with your great finishing.
Yes.
It's
we do have that down pat, finally.
You have finishing down. So we can expect to see American-made TAC Ultras with an American flag on them because Marines like American flags.
Yes, indeed.
And we'll see those at SHOT.
Yes, you will. You will see. More than likely, we'll have all 4 there, but we'll have 2 that we're selling. I'm pretty sure that's exactly what we're going to do. The 2 that we selected, we have back orders on. Those are the ones that we're going to be producing back here. So while we're at SHOT Show doing our thing, my team will be back here making them so that we can get a bunch on the shelf so that orders can come in. And so because it's an already made gun, we're not doing a lot different. We're going to be putting the cuts in and doing the things that we have to do, and then we'll start production probably in December by the time we get the kits in from the Philippines.
You seem to be having a great time, Lynn.
I do. I actually really enjoy my job, and I work here. I open the plant in the morning and I close it at night, so I do 11-hour days, but I enjoy it. I enjoy it. I see a team that's melding together over 2.5 years, and we're getting more guns. It's going in the direction that I want it to go in. The family wants it to go in. The company wants it to go in. How could you not be excited about that? Every one of my team members are excited about it. So if we can do that, I mean, being a new company, it costs a lot of money, and it takes a while to get from red to black.
Right, it does.
And our goal is to be in the black for a long time. And we believe that this gun is going to take us there. It's going to take, all boats will rise together. The 5.0s, the shotguns do really well. 5.0s are doing well. But this is going to take us, I believe, not just because I'm running the plant. I believe in my heart of hearts that this series of guns is going to take all of us up and take us where we need to go.
It's interesting and worth noting, there aren't many women running firearms manufacturing plants, and there aren't many women running firearms manufacturing plants working for a woman head of the company.
Correct.
Lisa Twassen.
Yes.
That's kind of a neat thing.
It is. And the good thing about it is Lisa and I talk every day, sometimes 4 or 5 times a day. And it's only because I'm a firm believer in keeping my boss. I learned that in the Marine Corps. Keeping my boss in the loop on everything. The good, the bad, and the ugly. And there always is. I'm not going to lie about that. You know, if I have a problem with an employee, I think she needs to know. If there's something going on with a machine, I need her to know. If I need to pay something because a machine went down, it's never cheap. You know, but I got a great mechanic and he can fix a lot of stuff. I'm a firm believer in letting Lisa know everything so that she can fight the battles that I don't have time for. And she's got, being in a family-run business, she has battles that I Have no desire to get involved in.
I don't blame
Zero,
you.
zero. I love, we just got permission that we can sell from the plant, and Lisa's selling in Las Vegas, and we're doing quite well. I mean, it's not to the level that you know, we're breaking any records, but it's okay, we're selling.
It's selling.
Every gun you sell puts money in the bank. That's how I look at it.
Interesting, you think you use the initials, RIA USA, whereas Philippine company Rock Island Armory Arms Corps.
Yep.
So
RIA USA, to me, it says USA. And I want everybody to know we're a part of the family. We're the Arms Corps family, okay? That doesn't separate us. But one child is Rock Island Imports, one child is Rock Island Armory, one child is RIA USA. We are RIA USA.
I'm going to have a lot to say later about the VRF-14. I have one. It's become a central point of my home defense. And this is where it was made. I love gun factories. And the other thing I love is American gun factories. I love when a company like Rock Island, my good friends, the Tawasans, invest here in Utah to manufacture some cutting-edge guns. I'm very excited about the TAC Ultras that they're going to be manufacturing here. I think it is a great 1911, and I know that Lynn Gomez is going to make sure it's an even better 1911. So, I'm Michael Bain. This is Triggered. You can find us at michaelbain.tv, where we're always free. All our videos right there. You can also find us on YouTube for, I don't know, maybe another couple of weeks. You can find us on Rumble. You can find us on X. You can find us almost anywhere. We will see you next week, and it won't be nearly as noisy, I promise.